Amber Heard's admitted defeat. Johnny Depp has won. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the news and pop culture stories of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yes, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Amber Heard has taken the L. She has admitted defeat by settling with Johnny Depp for $1 million. Now, I'm going to give you my reaction as a survivor in a moment. Before I do so, though, a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, YouTube human reviewer, I see you lurking. I'm not going to say any trigger words or anything that's going to offend your ear holes. And to everyone else awesome enough to have clicked on this video, hi, welcome, how you doing? If you love news and pop culture on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Do make sure you click on that subscribe button, like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories and whatevers. Also, as well, for your consideration, you can always send me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. And let's jump into this, shall we? So this broke a few hours ago. She has agreed to pay Johnny Depp to settle with him for $1 million. Yes, which, you know, coincidentally is the exact amount that she's insured for under these circumstances. What a coincidence, right? So yeah, she says, I never chose this, and tells fans, my life as I knew it was destroyed by social media vilification. Really? In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, her life was destroyed by her own actions and words. You know what I mean? However, let's hear it all straight from the horse's mouth herself. And that is a figure of speech used in UK, so don't get your panties in a twist, people. She released this statement on Instagram a few hours ago. But just as a little side note, if you want me to do an extra video, a little bit of like a linguistic analysis on her statement, then either like this video or comment down below if you do want that from me, and I'll make that video tomorrow for you guys. In the meantime, this is what she says. I make this decision having lost faith in the American legal system, where my unprotected testimony served as entertainment and social media fodder. Now, again, she doesn't get this, right? There is, yes, free speech. However, there is not then freedom from consequence of free speech, yeah? Come on. This is why there's libel laws and defamation laws, right? Come the hell on, lass. She needs to get that in her head. She says, when I stood before a judge in the UK, I was vindicated by a robust, impartial and fair system, where I was protected from having to give the worst moments of my testimony in front of the world's media, and where the court found that I was subjected to home and intimate nastiness. Now, come on. She's still equating the UK trial as a win for her. It wasn't. It was Johnny Depp versus the Sun versus Johnny Depp. It wasn't Johnny Depp versus the Sun and Amber Heard, okay? For her to say that was a win for her is absolute BS, and is absolutely false. It's incorrect. It is not factually true. So for her to put that across, in my opinion, as a factually true statement that she won in the UK is an absolute fallacy. And it makes me angry even to this day that she tries to use that in her favour, because it's got no to freaking do with her, really, in the grand scheme of things. Because again, it was Johnny Depp versus the Sun versus Johnny Depp. She needs to get that into her head. Okay. She says, in the US, however, I exhausted almost all my resources in advance of and during a trial in which I was subjected to a courtroom in which abundant direct evidence that corroborated my testimony was excluded. Well, there, in my opinion, she's completely dissing the judge. Judge as karate there. Because the judge will have decided what is entered into evidence and what isn't. So she's basically turning around and saying, do you know what? The judge didn't do her job properly. Otherwise, all this evidence would have been in as well. The absolute balls on this lass. And in which popularity and power mattered more than reason and due process. Popularity and power never mattered because at the end of the day, the jury was ordered not to go on social media, not to read the news whatsoever. So any popularity and power that was behind Johnny Depp's in the social media, in the outside of the courtroom, let's say, wouldn't have affected the jury one bit. So this whole popularity and power situation that, you know, she says was in favour of Johnny Depp, therefore she lost, does not make any logical sense whatsoever. In the interim, I was exposed to a type of humiliation that I simply cannot relive. Well, at the end of the day, you're on tape. She's on tape saying that she physically was nasty to Johnny Depp. She's on tape saying such nasty things to him. Might be a conspiracy theory, whatever. She freaking humiliated herself. And she lost because of her own actions and her own words. Why isn't she not taking responsibility? Even if my US appeal is successful, the best outcome would be a retrial where a new jury would have to consider the evidence again. I simply cannot go through that for a third time. No. Again, from what I said earlier on, she'd be going through it a second time, not a third time, because again, in the UK, it was Johnny Depp versus the Sun versus Johnny Depp. All right? I don't see anywhere in that versus Amber Heard's name popping up there. So it'd be for a second time, not a third time, in terms of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard and Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Again, why? How can she feel that she could warp reality so much and try and pull the wool over our eyes by trying to, like, no. She needs to just stop with this BS. I'm telling you. And hopefully she will now. Although, I suspect this ain't the last of it. We'll see. Time is precious. I agree with that. I want to spend my time productively and purposefully. I agree with that as well. Yes. Okay, something that I agree on with her. Fair play to her. For too many years, I've been caged in an arduous and expensive legal process. I can appreciate that. Yes, it would have been extremely expensive and very, very arduous. Any legal processes, you know, especially one that's this high profile and there's so many moving parts and so much at stake. Yeah, I agree with her on that as well. But here we go, which this is where I start disagreeing with her again, which has shown itself unable to protect me and my right to free speech. Again, you got the right to free speech, but you don't have the right to, you know, protection for what you say. Again, that's why you've got the libel laws and the defamation laws. Come on, lass. You do not have carte blanche when it comes to free speech. No one does. She says, I cannot afford to risk an impossible bill. Well, here we go. She's finally admitting financially, in my opinion, she can't afford it anymore. She's out. She's done. One that is not just financial, but also psychological, physical, and emotional. Now, yeah, I agree with all of that, actually, with what she says there. Firstly, financially, yeah, absolutely. She can't afford it. But even with Amber Heard, she is a human being. And all of this will have had a psychological, physical, and very emotional toll on her. Yeah, I do agree with that. Fair play. She's throwing the towel in. She's recognising that. I'll give her props for that. I will. But here we go. One thing I agree with her on, and then she completely ruins it with the next sentence. Women shouldn't have to face nastiness or bankruptcy for speaking her truth. But unfortunately, it is not uncommon. What? I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, there's been so many women Yes, from this era that started a couple of years back with RVW, right? So many women spoke out. Yeah? They didn't face any of the backlash that Amber Heard did, yeah? They're not facing bankruptcy either. Okay? And they're still free to speak out. So for her to turn around and say women face nastiness or bankruptcy, and that is not uncommon, again, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is factually incorrect. Again, she's trying to redraw, in my opinion, the lines of what's actual reality and what isn't. How does she feel she can do that? Feel that she can get away with pulling the wool over our eyes like this. This is insane. She says, in settling this case, I'm also choosing the freedom to dedicate my time to the work that helped me heal after my divorce. Work that exists in realms in which I feel seen, heard, and believed, and which I know I can affect change. Okay, so you want to now lead your life in a more positive kind of way without all this weighing on you and the negativity with that. Okay, I get that. But, okay, what work? What realms? Where do you think you can affect change? Like, details. That means nothing to me. That's just a whatever statement, right? There's nothing to back it up. There ain't. She says, I will not be threatened, disheartened, or dissuaded by what happened from speaking the truth. The court ruled you a lying lass, so come on. No one can and no one will take that from me. You already did. You took it from yourself with those recordings, lass. She took it from herself from those recordings, admitting that she was physically nasty to Johnny Depp. Saying all those nasty things to Johnny Depp. One that springs to mind, pretty much turning around and paraphrasing here and saying, Johnny, go ahead and tell the world that you're a survivor, because guess what? They're not going to believe you. My voice forever remains the most valuable asset I have. She says, I'd like to thank my outstanding appellate and original trial teams for their relentless hard work. Yeah, it wouldn't have been easy for them. I mean, say what you can say, you know, about Elaine, Ben, and the rest of them, right? But they were facing an uphill battle. They really, really were. And for them to take Amber on as a case, I mean, yeah, there would have been a lot of stress, a lot of work involved. Like, you know, fair play. Fair play to Amber for thanking them and giving them the props. Okay. And to be fair, Elaine, Amica cream, like, come on. That's just going to be, like, forever enshrined in pop culture history. And if there isn't a beauty company out there that doesn't capitalize on that and actually create a cream called Amica cream, then I think a company's missing out on millions there. But, you know, that's just my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. So I certainly thank Elaine specifically for the Amica cream moment. That was just wonderful and inspired. She says, I want to thank everyone who supported me. Okay, fair enough. And I turn my attention to the growing support that I felt and seen publicly in the months since the trial. What growing support? Because I don't see that. I see a lot more growing support for Johnny Depp, which in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Hell yes. I mean, think about it. Where's Amber Heard now? And what's she doing? No one knows and no one cares. However, Johnny Depp, well, he's going to be starring in the movie Le Favorite. He has recorded an album with Jeff Beck and went on tour, which, by the way, Marcella, last month, amazing. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much. He went on MTV as the first ever, like, in-person kind of Moon Man dude. Oh, my goodness. And then let's not forget the Fenty and Savage situation where he was the first male model for Rihanna's company there. Johnny Depp keeps rising. Johnny Depp keeps winning. Johnny Depp's support is increasing, and quite rightly so. Amber Heard support? Well, as far as I can tell and I can see, it's the same people that are supporting her over and over again. I don't see any swelling the ranks for Amber Heard supporters. I really, really don't. Unless you want to count the bots, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. But there you go. She says, as well, and the efforts that have been made to show solidarity with my story. Well, there have been efforts, but yeah, not treated that seriously. Any survivor knows that the ability to tell their story often feels like the only relief. And I cannot find enough words to tell you the hope your belief in me inspires, not just for me, but for all of you. Thank you and see you soon. Well, any survivor knows that the ability to tell their story often feels like the only relief. I get that. Personally, I really, really do. However, Amber Heard does not speak for me. No way, no how. As far as I'm concerned, Amber Heard is not a part of the survivorship community. So for her to still try and align herself with this community, no. And ultimately, as I've said before, and I will say again, there is a special kind of hell for those that lie about this kind of stuff. And she and others that do that can burn there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And I will not shed a tear over them as far as I'm concerned. Oh my freaking goodness. As far as I'm concerned, really, my ultimate reaction to all of this is I am so happy for Johnny Depp right now. I'm elated. I'm over the moon. It's like, for him, legally speaking, let's say, it's done. It's finally done. Now, would I have preferred her to have had to pay the full 10 mil, or the 8 mil, let's say? Hell yeah. But on the face of it, really, Johnny wants to move on, quite clearly, right? He's moving on to bigger, better things. His life is getting better. He is getting everything that he deserves and a heck of a lot more. And I'm so freaking happy for him, right? He's part of the survivorship community, not Amber Heard. And ultimately, he decided, yes, I will settle. So if he decided that, who am I to disagree, really, at the end for this to happen, right? So for me, I am so happy and over the moon that ultimately he does not have to deal with illegally anymore. He doesn't have to worry about an upcoming potential new trial if the appeals were successful. You know, he doesn't even have to worry about the appeals anymore. Like, all that goes out of the window. It must be an absolute massive relief and a massive kind of weight off his shoulders that this situation legally is done. It's over, and he can close the door on that and move on and be free of it. He's free, guys. He is free of Amber Heard and the legalities of Amber Heard. Now, here lies a problem. Will she continue to speak about the trial and continue to say, oh, you know, they were whatever, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. The trial wasn't fair. It wasn't done right. And, you know, I'm still the survivor, blah, blah, blah. Brace yourselves, because I think so. I really do. But at this point in time, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to celebrate and be happy that ultimately Johnny Depp is free. Yes, he is free from the legal situation with Amber Heard. And that, to me, is the main takeaway from all of this. Now, as I said before, and I'll mention again, if you do want me to do a linguistic analysis on Amber Heard's statement, then like the hell out of this video and comment down below, and I'll make sure to do one tomorrow for you guys. In the meantime, if you like this video and you want to see more, and of course you want to see more, then make sure the first thing that you do is subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe to get news and pop culture on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories and whatevers. Also, as well, for your consideration, you can always send me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. And until the next time, you guys, later!